Hello everybody and welcome back to my channel. So today I'm going to have a little bit of fun. So something to know about me, for a good chunk of my life, I was a cheerleader. As such, I feel uniquely qualified for today's video that nobody asked for, and that is ranking cheerleading movies. Now, of course, I haven't seen every single cheerleading movie known to man. At least I don't think I have. But I've seen a good chunk of them, so I feel like I have a pretty good idea of like what's a good cheerleading movie and what's not. I've seen enough of them, if that makes sense. So I'm gonna be ranking the ones that I have seen and that I remember. So if I haven't seen it or I don't remember it, it's not gonna be on this list. Looking at you fired up. As with anything like this, these are all just my opinions. I'm just having fun. I'm really doing this one because I just filmed another video, which will probably be up by the time you see this one, and I'll link it in the cards. But that one was a lot more labor intensive, so I just need something kind of fun and way less labor intensive to film in conjunction with this, so I can get more, you know, like more wear time out of this look specifically. Is what I'm trying to do. So for this video, I'm defining a cheerleading movie as a movie where cheerleading is either the main plot or at least a concurrent plot or at least a subplot. So movies where characters just happen to be cheerleaders but that is not a plot point aren't going to count in this tier list. That's about all I really have to say about it, so let's just go ahead and get into this. So as you can see, I've got my glasses on because I mean business, but also I'm viewing the screen and I need to see, so glasses VR. Anyways, so I've got 5 distinctions to my cheer list. So my S tier is cheer legends. That's just the best of the best. Below that is the varsity mavens. Below that is the JV novices. No offense to anyone who was ever on a JV team, but from what I remember, the goal is to eventually be on varsity. So, you know, they're just kind of mid. The cheer losers, and then before that, we have didn't even make the team. So yeah, let's just get into it. So I'm kind of tempted to start with the cheer movie to end all cheer movies, and that's the Bring It Ons, but I might go into these other ones first and then do the Bring It Ons last. Yeah, I think I'm gonna do that. So I'm gonna start with the next one on the list, which is John Tucker Must Die. Now, I know you may not be thinking John Tucker Must Die is a cheerleading movie, but there is a plot point where Kate, I think her name was, Brittany Snow's character, she becomes a cheerleader in order to help with the whole, you know, get John Tucker back, you know, scheme they were doing. So that counts as a plot. So I'm counting it as a cheerleading movie. Now, John Tucker Must Die, I'm not gonna lie, I used to eat this movie up when I was little. Not little, but like when I was like, becoming a teenager, like early teenhood. My mom bought this one on DVD and I used to watch it so frequently. I thought it was just like, this was gonna be my life. I really did think that, but it wasn't. So I'm gonna put John Tucker Must Die into JV novices. Like, it was okay. Wasn't the best, wasn't the worst. I think their I remember thinking like their cheerleaders weren't that great. So I'm gonna put it in the JV novices. So the next one is gonna be Fab Five, the Texas cheerleader scandal. So this is actually a Lifetime movie based on a true story, and it's one of 2 cheerleading movies on this list starring Ashley Benson, aka what's her face, Hannah from Pretty Little Liars. And it's about and Jenna Dewan, so Channing Tatum's ex-wife, is also in this movie, and it's about these cheerleaders who, I guess one of them, her mom was the principal of the school, so they just got away with doing a lot of BS and no one could control them, and so this coach was trying to, you know, do what they do to kind of, you know, mitigate that. So I remember when this premiered on Lifetime because it's based on a true story. I'm gonna go give it to Varsity Mavens, not because they're good at cheerleading, but because they were good at being bad. So I'm gonna put them there. Cause yeah, they kind of just like, I think this story was like a huge thing when it was happening. I don't remember exactly when. I'll try to find some articles about it if you're curious. But yeah, it was pretty interesting. So yeah, I think I'm gonna put that at Varsity Mavens. I think they were good at being bad. So the next one is gonna be Sugar and Spice. So Sugar and Spice is about a cheerleading team, or a girl on a cheerleading team, and she ends up getting pregnant and then they get kicked out, so they're broke. So her and her cheerleading friends decide to like rob places for money. It's very camp. It's not a great movie. So I'm kind of gonna put this one in the cheer losers category. Biggest reason was because I'm not gonna lie, the main girl, her like, she's like, I know it's very camp, but she's kind of like a little too like neurotic looking for me. So yeah, and the cheerleading wasn't great. I think they only really did like one stunt in there. And I know this movie was like in the early 2000s, whatever, but there were other early 2000s cheerleading movies that didn't do that. So yeah, this is going in cheer losers. So the next one is, okay, so I guess this movie is called Slap Her, She's French, but it came out when I saw it as She Gets What She Wants. Kind of glad they changed the name because yeah, that was kind of bad. So basically this movie it stars Piper Perabo, who she like is a French exchange student or poses as one, and so she basically tries to take over the life of this girl Starla Grady. So Starla Grady, she's like, you know, head cheerleader, has the popular boyfriend, you know, she's that girl at this high school, and so she basically tries to like take over her life. And so it's a revenge movie. So basically the girl, I can't remember what the girl's name is, but the girl Piper Perabo plays, she pretty much like, she's taking revenge because Starla Grady's character, when they were like little, did something mean to her or bullied her or something, so she decided to like take over her life. So I mean, not the best of revenge plots. And also I remember hating the uniforms in this movie. Like they didn't match or something like that, and I just didn't like it. So this one going in and didn't make the team because like it's kind of like a B revenge plot movie, but also not a great cheerleading movie. So yeah, Slap Her, She's French / She Gets What She Wants, not the best. But you know what? It's camp, so I respect it for what it is. So the next one is gonna be The Hot Chick. Now, again, another one you may not think is a cheerleading movie, but there is a plot line in that movie, because you know Rachel McAdams and Anna Faris are in it, and Rob Schneider. So there's a plot line where, because like they cheer for the honeybees, and then her kind of rival cheers for the foxes. And I don't know if they go to the same school. Like they never really, I don't think they go to the same school. Like so. Anyways, so, and then they have like a plot line because like they, you know, both get into it like kind of cheer rivalry / like general rivalry. Bianca, the other girl from the Fox, is trying to sue the boyfriend or whatever. And like, and so whenever like Rachel McAdams / Jessica's in Rob Schneider's body, they do have a actual cheerleading competition that they win. So that's why I'm putting this in cheer movie category. Now, as a cheer movie, it's kind of meh, you know. Again, I think their routines were like not great. So, because even I think even like as a kid, when I was watching these kinds of movies, I'd be like, these routines are not good. Even though they're supposed to be cheerleaders, I'm like, they're kind of meh. So I'm gonna put this one in cheer losers category with Sugar and Spice because yeah, the routine's just not that great. So yeah, cheer losers. So the last one that is not a Bring It On movie is But I'm a Cheerleader, which is, I'll admit, is the one I'm taking the most creative liberty with. Because, but I felt like I couldn't really ignore it because cheerleader is in the title. So it's been a while since I've seen But I'm a Cheerleader, but it was very camp and I think it's very poignant and it's great like LGBTQIA representation. But as a cheerleading movie, meh. But again, I felt like I couldn't really leave it because cheerleaders in the title. So I'm gonna put that one in Varsity Mavens. Like it could be better on the cheer front, but I think it's really good on other fronts. So it's gonna be pretty high up. So now the moment you've all been waiting for, the cheer movies to end all cheer movies, and that's gonna be the Bring It Ons. So I have seen all of the Bring It Ons multiple times. They're probably the cheer movies I'm most familiar with. I think that everyone is most familiar with. I know there's a sixth one. I have 5 here. I know there's a sixth one. But I didn't know it. I think I just saw it on Netflix like 2 or 3 weeks ago. I was like, oh, I didn't know there was another Bring It On movie because I kind of stopped watching the movie after the 5th one came out. But yeah, so I'm gonna get into the Bring It Ons because I feel like this is where the true battle for cheerleading movie rankings is gonna lie. So the first one, I'm gonna start with the second Bring It On movie. So Bring It On Again. So Bring It On Again is the only one I think that takes place in a college, and it's a little bit of a deviation. I think it might be most people's least favorite Bring It On movie, but I'm gonna defend it for a little bit. I think that Bring It On Again, I think it has a lot of the same like essence of the first movie. Maybe not as poignant. It's not as like on brand, but I do think it has the same sort of essence, the same sort of vibe. I theoretically could see those characters from the first movie becoming the characters in the second movie, theoretically. So, yeah, I understand the gripes against Bring It On Again. I do think, especially after coming out after the first one, I don't think it was nearly as great. But, I mean, it's alright. You know, it's not terrible. So I think I'm going to put it in, like, JB Novices, because I don't think it's terrible. I think people don't give it enough credit. So, yeah, JB Novices. So next, I'm going to skip ahead. I'm going to go to the fourth Bring It On movie, I think, which is Bring It On and It Did Win It, and it's the second one with Ashley Benson playing a cheerleader. And I remember this one came out because it was so cool. Like, I thought this one was the coolest one that when it came out, because like it was like right at the height of like Ashley Tisdale when she like kind of had her album come out, and I had that album, right? So they featured a lot of Ashley Tisdale's songs in this movie, specifically because Ashley Tisdale's sister, Jennifer Tisdale, is in this movie. So it was a lot of like, and they did like kind of like a video for like her song He Said, She Said with the characters from the movie. So it was kind of cool. And so I was really into it for that reason. Plus it kind of seemed like a cool like upgrade to like the general Bring It On, because I think by this point there hadn't been a Bring It On movie for about since like 2006. This came out in like 2009, 2010. So there hadn't been a Bring It On movie since like 2006 or so. So I really liked this one when it first came out. Now, going back, I do think that maybe this one is kind of, for lack of a better word, corny. They have like a West Side Story-esque Jets and Sharks like rivalry going on between the two teams. This one takes place at a cheer camp, which I think is why I liked it too, because I'm like, oh, it takes place like something I know well, cheer camp. So, and I know how it can get. None of my rivalries with cheer camp ever got this intense. Like we're never like trying to like have a rumble in the street or anything. Which another thing that made me mad about this movie, like, well, all the Bring It On movies, like, they never use mats for anything. I think the first one, like, they just have all this stuff that they're just like using no mats for. So they have this rumble in the streets. It was a cheer rumble, and so it's so bad. So they were like rumble through the streets, and so they're like Jets, Sharks, Jets, like very West Side Story, but not as good. So they had these like routines they were doing on gravel, on pavement, and then they were shocked when half their teams got hurt. Like, whose fault is that? Ashley Benson and other blonde girl whose name I can't remember. So yeah, I'm gonna put this one in cheer losers, only because while I do think it has some good actual cheerleading, actually, yeah, I'm gonna bump it up to JV Novices, because I do think it has actually good cheerleading, but the plot points didn't make a lick of damn sense. So, and I think they were just really dramatic for no reason. And like I said, it was kind of corny. It was definitely given that like late 2000s era, or like late 2000s, early 10s like era of like weird dialogue. So it was giving those vibes. I remember at one point, like one of the cheers that one of the dudes made up in the movie was like PEACE, Peace in the Middle East, Go Planet. Like, what? No. And also the same dude pretended to be gay, which is not a good look, like to be around all the girls. So like, he was like, well, y'all just assumed, so I just never corrected you. Like, bro, shut up. You're trash. So actually, for that reason, I'm bumping it back down to cheer losers, because just for that alone ain't good. But then also another thing that goes against it is the fact that like these grown, like, okay, so like there was two rival camps, right? Camp Victory and Camp Spirit Thunder, whatever. And so the coaches used to be married, and they were like putting the people against each other. And also they had one team called the Flamingos, which again, just bad. And they were in all pink, which I like the pink outfits, but why would you call your teams that? But then also, when they had to come together at the end, the Jets and the Sharks had to come together and do their, you know, team together, because they didn't have enough for full team, so they had to come together with their halves as one team. So instead of like, I don't know, you know, doing anything else, they decided to like rip their uniforms up and like make them combine. So like nobody's uniforms matched for the competition, which if I remember cheerleading competitions correctly, you're partially judged on like how much do you guys look like a group. So like y'all don't look like a group at all. Anyways, yeah, so like I have more issues with the movies than I thought I did. I still like will watch it if it comes on, but yeah, it's just a lot going on in this movie. And it wants to be a lot of different things. It wants to be like a romance. It wants to be like a cheer movie. It wants to be a rivalry movie. It's just, and then another thing. So, what's his face from Boys in Motion is in this movie. I can't remember his name, but he was the lead guy in Boys in Motion and That's So Raven. And he, like, is the love interest for Ashley Benson's character. And so, I think, like, he also like lied about being a cheerleader because he didn't want his dad to know, which I understand that's hard for people to tell, but why would you make your team like fundraise for you when you didn't need the money? Like, come on now. But then also his captain, the other blonde girl whose name I can't remember, she was just so possessive over him for no reason. Like, if he wants to date other girls, then let him date other girl. Like, so what if she's from the other team? I know, but girl, come on now. You don't know him. Chill out. Anyways, yeah, so for those reasons, as much as the cheerleading itself is pretty good, it's going into cheer losers. So the next Bring It On movie is one that I think a lot of people have never seen. It's the 5th one with Christina Milian, and it's Fight to the Finish. So it kind of like pulls from the essence of like the first Bring It On movie, which was like that kind of like you know, like yuppie like white people versus like the like inner city people. So it kind of calls back to that, just doesn't do it as well. And so this one, basically what happens is Christina Milian's character, which another thing is Christina Milian tired of carrying like high school characters. I'm glad she finally seems to upgrade it to like late 20s, early 30s, because like I feel like there was a run where she was playing high school characters for a while. Like I feel like she was giving Bianca Lawson a run for her money. So anyways, so Christina Milian's character, she you know, has to go. Well, actually, I just thought about something. So all three, so the 1st, the 3rd, and the 5th all kind of do that whole like fish out of water, having to go like to the other team vibe. That I don't know if that was on purpose, but I just happened to notice that. Anyways, so the one Christina Milian, so I think her mom gets married and they have to move to like Malibu, so she has to leave her team and then go to this like, you know, elite like little private school or whatever in Malibu. And maybe it's not private, but it's like a super like high-end, like, you know, all the richies go there. And so I remember, so what's her face from Teen Wolf, Lydia, is in this movie. She plays Christina Milian's new stepsister, who also was a cheerleader. So like she was like, so Christina Milian was on like the kind of inner city team. And then the stepsister's on the, I think the school team called Sea Lions. But then the rival girl is on another team, maybe it's all-star team. I don't know. I don't remember what they said about that, but she's like an all-star team, which is like a cheer gym. So she doesn't cheer for the school, and so like she's in rivalry with the school cheerleaders, which I don't know why, because if I remember correctly, like for the most part, like a lot of people just did both, or if you did one or the other, it was never like this, you know, ooh, I'm an all-star cheerleader, I cheer for the gym instead of like no one cared. So yeah, so like Christina Milian, so she joins the school cheerleading team and she gets in the rivalry with Avery, who's the girl's name who cheers for the gym, who's their rival, and she has like the worst wig, I think. I think she might have the worst wig, I think, in the whole franchise. And so she tries to get with Avery's brother, who is in something. I'll put his name up.
Hello, hi, editing Deja. So I actually won't put his name up because when I looked him up, he actually got arrested for a really bad crime. So if you want to know his name, just look him up.
And he plays like basketball for the Sea Lions. And so like, again, it's kind of that weird like, oh, you can't date my brother because you're from like the inner city. Ugh. Anyway, so like this one's, I'm gonna put it in like cheer losers category as well. Like it was just very meh. I barely remember what was actually in there. So yeah, cheer losers. So last is gonna be you may be wondering why nothing's in Cheer Legends, and I saved those for last because I'm going to just tell you right now, these are both going right up into Cheer Legends, and that is the first Bring It On and the third Bring It On. So the first Bring It On, of course, is the most iconic one. It's with Kirsten Dunst, Alicia Dushku, is that her name? Alicia Dushku? Her. Gabrielle Union. Yeah, like it's so poignant, it's so relevant. It gave us so many like quotable, you know, because like who else is doing it like them? You know, when they came out and said, I'm sexy, I'm cute, I'm popular to boot, I'm bitchin', great hair, the boys I love to stare, like there was no coming back from that. No one could ever top that one. And then with the scene where like Gabrielle Union's team, the Clovers, comes up and like they start like on their own turf, start a turf war, like girl, you can't make that up. Come on now. Come on now. Like it's just too iconic, and it's so poignant, and I think it explained like cultural appropriation better than like any like scholastic paper could. It just showed it right up top, and I think it was like the most well done, probably the best ending. And I think, yeah, this one is just like, this was a cultural reset. It truly was. I know a lot of people use that lightly. I'm not using it lightly. That was a cultural reset. That was the moment. So yeah, Cheer Legends right up top is the first Bring It On movie. And so last movie, also in the Cheer Legends category, is going to be the third Bring It On movie. That's the one with Hayden Panettiere and Solange Knowles, Beyonce's sister. So in the movie, Hayden Panettiere is like, you know, at the rich Malibu school or whatever. And then so her dad loses his job, so they got to take a pay cut. So they move to Crenshaw Heights, which I'm assuming is like it's like Crenshaw out in LA, which is like, you know, a hood, so to speak. So she got to go to the hood school. And so she kind of butts heads with Solange a little bit, and it's a little bit of that mishmash of culture things. They eventually learn to respect each other, but yeah, so she has to join the Crenshaw Heights Warriors. And then Rihanna's in this movie because she's doing some sort of like, okay, so she's doing, okay, this is where like one of the plot points doesn't make sense, and it didn't make sense to me as a kid, because in the movie, they're competing to be in Rihanna's music video for Pon de Replay. That's how long ago this was. But that music video never happened. Like, they just, and like, because she was hiring cheerleaders for like the music video, but like, that was just made up for the movie, yeah, because the video for Pon de Replay is nothing like this. It's nothing of the sort. So, yeah, so like, it really gets into that whole like, yeah, entitlement and like, you know, I don't know what's an East-West, it's not an East-West Coast thing, but like, you know, just how people like from different neighborhoods and different tax brackets and like how they would treat like the so-called ghetto youth, despite the fact that they're like way more creative and way better, you know, they don't really get the same opportunity. So like, it was kind of like mixing of, you know, her kind of more like, yeah, like Malibu cheer versus with like the Crenshaw cheer, and they like came up with a really good one. And now I will say, this one gets points knocked off because they do have that really cringe crumping scene. Yeah. But otherwise, it's pretty good. I love the fact that Giamatti Samuels and the guy who played Jesse are like on TikTok, like reacting to this stuff. It's so funny. But yeah, this is probably one of the better ones. And then like toward the end, they do another one of those like, you know, they have to do like a battle royale style at the cheer competition. And so, Solange, and so like Brittany, which is Hayden Panettiere's character, she teaches like the squad one of the older teens because she knew they were gonna do it, so it threw them off, so that, oh my god, they know our moves, they jacked our moves or whatever. Anyways, this one's great. So yeah, I'm putting that one up in the Cheer Legends category. It's just too iconic. I think if nothing else, pretty much everybody has seen the first and the third Bring It On movies, if nothing else, because they're just too iconic. So yeah, I think that's gonna end it for my tier list. Am I happy with this? Yeah, I'm happy with this. So yeah, the Bring It On, the first, the third one, so Bring It On, and then Bring It On All or Nothing are the Cheer Legends. The Varsity Mavens are the Fab Five Texas Cheerleader Scandal and But I'm a Cheerleader. The JV Novices are John Tucker Must Die and Bring It On Again. The Cheer Losers are Sugar and Spice, The Hot Chick, Bring It On In It to Win It, and then Bring It On Fight to the Finish. And then didn't even make the team was Slapper She's French / She Gets What She Wants. So yeah, that's actually gonna wrap it up for my ranking cheerleading movies video. I hope you guys enjoyed. I know no one asked, but I had a good time doing it. Let me know in the comments if you agree with the rankings. If not, tell me why you don't agree. If there are any cheerleading movies that I missed, make sure to let me know down below. As per usual, everything on my face, let me take my glasses off. Everything on my face will be down below in the description box. You can find me on Instagram at DejaVu. You can find me on Twitter at DejaVu2. You can find me on TikTok at DejaVu3. However, I don't really post on there. And you can follow my podcast, Grossly Overqualified, found everywhere podcasts are found. So until next time, bye-bye.